Hello and welcome back. This is David from the Personal Finance Squad. We just finished up with the beginning of Chapter 5, the grocery bill, where we went through a meal plan so we can understand the types of items that are needed on a regular basis and understand the expense of the grocery bill in the budget, because it can be a very large expense. So we have the basic setup for what Jasper was going to do with his plan. However, we need to go a little further to understand in unit pricing here, what is the best way to buy something? Because what you see in a price may not always be to the best value of what you need to buy it for. So let's get a little bit into that and we can see where the value presents itself. So we're talking about a unit pricing. So most stores have unit pricing, which is displayed on a package or on multiple items in one package. For example, we can see that there's many ways this is displayed. We can see ounces, such as Gatorade. We could see liters. It could be wine. A standard bottle of wine is 750 milliliters, as an example. Gallons could be milk, or pounds could be for, right here, ground beef. So when it comes to unit pricing, the retailers display this information next to the products, and this allows the consumer to make choices in the products they want to buy that suits their needs. So what you're thinking here is, I'm looking at comparable products, and I'm willing to have both those products per se, but what is the best time for me to purchase it? And do I buy it now, or do I buy it based on unit price? Because a smaller unit price is a benefit to the consumer. So you can see, for example, here we have 2 gallons at $3.80 or 1.5 gallons at $2.70. So this is a unit pricing calculation that we can look at. See the basic math that the $2.70 at 1.5 gallons, even though you're buying a half a gallon less, is the better buy. So I put a little stick in here. You see, for example, here, organic, honest kids and variety boxes, and that's actually juice boxes. See in this case down here that it's 0.250 or 25 cents per box. Now it's organic, there's no added sugar, but then you say, you know what, I might want some Capri Sun, and I know there's 10% sugar, like added, something of that effect, right? Again, it depends on what's important to you, but just straight up, for example, you can see that $9.99 for organic is probably going to be more than what a Capri Sun's going to be. I saw just the other day, I believe it was around $7.99, and you're getting the same amount of boxes, I believe. So, for example, in the unit price, it's going to be lower for Capri Sun. So that gives you an indication of, just because something looks cheaper on the surface, you really got to do a little bit of quick math. So in the store, when they provide you with this price per unit, it's a nice feature, so you really don't have to go do the work. So other things you have to consider is 40 boxes enough? Do I want to come back in 2 weeks? Do I buy 2 of these? Capri Sun could be, just for example, if it was 30 boxes, these are things that you know for the things you want to buy, for what works for yourself and for your family if you have one, for when you choose to buy the things that you want. Okay, so let's scroll down here. The quantities we were looking at, which was for the milk, was single unit packaging. However, it becomes more complicated with, again, like sodas, like Gatorades, have many different packaging sizes and amounts. And it's very important that we want to watch this common mistake made by consumers when they see a lower price on an item and impulsively buy it. For example, we were just kind of talking about this, but this is laid out more in a table form, so it's a little easier to read. In fact, let me shift this first row down. Okay, so we have an example of a yogurt. So we see the cost right here for brand X is $9.99. We can see that the cup are 16. You can see that all the prices here, 11 and 12.05, but you can see the cups in each one of these packages is different. Now you're getting the same size here, which is great. So it's an apple for apple comparison, and then you can see the total amount. Probably what you care about is not so much the total amount in the regard of, you know that this is the same here, so that it's more like, how many cups am I getting? And you can see right here that you're actually getting more in this case by buying in bulk. This is more of a bulk purchase because you're getting 120 ounces over 96 or 20 cups over 16 at the low end. And you can see when you do the math that you're only talking a matter of a variance of 2 cents. If it were me in this case, I would be buying this. Because not only do you get a 2 cent difference, for one, the difference is in your pocket. You don't have to spend it. Although 2 cents is not a whole lot, it's still your money. And you're getting 4 more cups over brand X. Now the difference is you got to decide, do I want to have brand X? But the way we're doing this comparison, at least at this general way of looking at it, is I'm considering that I would eat all 3 brands. These are the things you have to think about, because I can tell you that there's certain brands that I just don't want to eat. So I might not even put a brand Z into the equation. Then I would turn around and maybe I like brand X and Y, and I'm just going to get Y, because that's what I like. It all comes down to consumption of what you want for what you want to pay, and how important it is for you to eat certain things if you get another one at a better cost to your budget. Okay, so that will complete this video. We are going to get into unit pricing based on consumption, which we were just leading into, and we will see you in the next video.